Marshall in the house. Thank you. So good to see you.
I like your dress.
Thank you. Brandon, the crowd approves this message, clearly. And I also want to mention you are joining us courtesy of Audience Sports and AT&T. We'll get into that later. But please tell me what I was just reading on your Starbucks cup here. You could have shared.
You guys woke me up so early, you know, 6:45, so I went to Starbucks and, you know, said, what's your name? I said, I own Stephen A.
Round of applause.
You want some? You want some?
May I comment? May I comment?
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know this, but no receiver who wears the most pom-poms for Jay Cutler could ever own me. Could ever own me. That could not happen. Now,
I turned those pom-poms in, man.
Yeah, you did. You did. It took you about 5 years, but you finally did.
9.
I tried to help you out. I tried to help you.
No, but listen, he has a lot of potential, and I think that, you know, he could, potential.
Let's not go to Cutler yet. First.
We're not going to Cutler. I just want to make this last statement, and then we can move forward.
Sure.
You said a man that's been in the league for 10 years has potential. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Let's move on.
Hold on. Before we move on, you guys had an awesome debate about race.
Sure.
And I want to say one thing on that, just in case we don't get to it, right? Every single day, I walk to the grocery store or drive to the grocery store, or go to the doctor, I get out of my car, or I'm coming out of the grocery store or my doctor's office. I see someone that doesn't look like me, and the first thing they do, they grab their purse, or they, you know, get scared, they run to their car. It's every single day.
In the middle of broad daylight.
Every single day. So I say that because there's still racism in America, in the world, and I think the issue is we can't relate to one another because we're not in each other's shoes. So I think that it's time for us to continue to have this discussion, change the narrative, and maybe we'll see change. But I wanted to say that you know, I have Mercedes-Benz keys in my pocket or out, and I'm walking to my car, and people still look at me like I'm going to steal from them. So I just wanted to say that.
Fair point.
It's 2016, and it's a shame we still have to keep having this conversation. I appreciate you sharing that, though, because it's a conversation we'll continue to have here on First Take. Now, I couldn't see earlier when you made your Super Bowl pick, but you went with Carolina?
No.
You went with
Denver.
You did.
Yes.
You did. Are you the first to go with Denver? You are. Brandon, you know what? I didn't even see that as I was going to bump. You are the very first. I love this. Please tell us why you're going.
Well, first of all, I was drafted by the Denver Broncos in 2006.
Of course. And
second, you know, I'm on Inside the NFL, and a couple weeks ago, I picked the Broncos to win the Super Bowl 27-24, but against the Arizona Cardinals. So I'll say this, and I said it before. I really believe Carolina Panthers are going to win, but I can't renege. So I'm going to stick with my bet. I'm going to stick with my bet.
Loyal to it. Skip's had to do that before, right?
You see, Skip's looking at me, and I was looking at him to say something to you because, you know, you his boy. Because if it were me, he would have said, what happened to the courage of your convictions? but because it's you,
I like
he lets you slide on that. I need you to explain, because obviously it's a very emotional pick on your part, because you know you're an emotional kind of guy. You're such a good guy that you get emotional a lot of times. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't know. It depends on what you're talking. Anytime it's one of your teams or one of your boys, that's where you going, regardless of the facts that lie before you. So go ahead and explain, since you picked Denver, even though you know Carolina's going to win, you picked Denver. Tell us how this is going to happen. How is Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos going to fill this out?
Well, first of all, you got to look at this. I think both defensive units can argue their place in NFL history when you really look at it. I mean, when you look at Denver's defense and how they're built, it's individuals. You got a bunch of superstars. They play man-to-man coverage. They let these guys wear and Von Miller, they let them loose on the edge. And you know, like last week, they're sacking Tom Brady, or a couple weeks ago, sacking Tom Brady in less than 2 seconds. But then when you go to the Carolina Panthers, and this is a defense I'm familiar with because we ran something similar to that in Chicago, these guys play on one string. Just watch how they communicate before the snap, during the snap, after the snap. You're never going to see a more well-rounded, on one-page defense. And I don't know what the hell I just said, but but what I'm trying to say is this team plays as a unit, and when you play as a team, you win as a team, you're that much stronger than anyone else you can go against.
Go ahead, Skip.
So can you make a case for Peyton Manning, nearing 40 years of age, playing well enough to beat this Carolina team led by Cam Newton?
Yeah, the way I say it is a couple years ago when we brought in Coach Mark Trestman, that's when I found total respect for the quarterback position. I understood why they make so much money, and they deserve it because there's a lot on their shoulders. So for Peyton Manning, I believe he wins up here. He's done it his whole career. 80% of our game, 80% of life is mental, and there's no difference here. If you know where you're going before you're going there, you have a 100% chance of being successful.
So speaking of mental, you just had your best year of your career, and you were approaching age 32.
Yep.
So explain how that happened. Was it 80% mental, what just happened with the New York Jets?
Well, yeah, so you guys see that I have on my Project 375 shirt and lime green stuff. So you guys had me on before, and I talked about mental health, and it's so serious to me. So for the past 5 years, I've dove into this space, and I spend more time working out my brain than I do my body. And I think we saw that last year, you know, whether it's overcoming injuries, is getting traded. And I got traded from a place that I really love. Like, that was my dream team. That was my dream city. I still love that place. I'm still a fan of that place.
Which place?
Chicago.
Okay, because I was thinking Denver, Chicago. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Chicago. So I say that because sport and life to me are the same. And I say this all the time. 80% of it is here. You know, but we spend so much time working out in the weight room or trying to physically get through situations. If I was a GM, if I was a head coach, I will put my team clinician next door to my weightlifting coach. But we don't see that. We have the weightlifting coach in the front of the building or wherever on the first floor. Then we find a space on the second or third floor for our team doctor. And it shouldn't be that way, because if my players are healthy here and inside, they're going to be better on the field. And there's no difference between that and the workplace or government or corporation.
I tell you something right now. I'm not the one to really get into this because I'm the one in the worst shape of everybody up here. But I would tell you, you know, other than my friend J.J. Smith with the green smoothie drinks, I don't know anybody. Well, she's a best-selling author. She's big time. Oh. But the thing about it is that other than her, I'm thinking about this guy and how much he's in the gym and how much he takes care of himself. I'm thinking about you and mental health awareness and what you do to take care of your mind. And it's amazing what it provokes you to take care of. When I'm down, when I'm stressed or anything like that, you realize the power of the mind and how that could just deteriorate you. It's so I applaud you in your quest, and I really, really appreciate that. But I got to get on you about this.
Before you go, did I tell you I own you?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
And didn't I knock that down by bringing up Jay Cutler? The point is that I got to get on you about this. The New York Jets.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Last game of the regular season. A postseason berth is on the line. Brandon Marshall's mind was right, body was right, had the quarterback that he wanted that was a hell of a lot better than Jay Cutler ever was.
No, I can't. Don't say that.
It's the truth. Stop it. Stop it. Ryan Fitzpatrick this year was better than Jay Cutler has ever been. That is a fact. Don't argue with me about that.
2009,
stop it. Just stop it. His non-playoff self. Here's the deal, okay? I asked a question. The question, what happened to the New York Jets? What happened?
Oh, man. So, listen, coming into this year.
Gather your thoughts.
No, you know, I've been saying this for a month. I felt like we were the first team in history to overachieve and underachieve in the same year. You know, who would have thought that we would have won 10 games? I know internally our goal was to win 12. We really believed that, and I think you have to believe that. I think that's part of our psyche as players. You know, it doesn't matter if you're the Cleveland Browns, Oakland Raiders, sorry guys in the Bay, or or the New York Jets. We believe every year. I love you guys. I love you guys. We believe every year is our year to be, the best at our position. We believe every year is the year that we can take it. But the truth of the matter is some teams don't have a chance. But I honestly felt like it took us half the season to bring it together. And once we did that, I think we went on a 4 or 5 game winning streak. And then we get to the Buffalo Bills. And we had a major letdown. And it's not because we weren't prepared, but to be totally honest with you, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because we're coming off a great win against New England where I felt like we dominated them, and the game should have been over in the third quarter, but it ended up going into overtime, and we all know what happened there. So I don't know if it was, one of those things where we were emotionally spent after that game, but there definitely was a drop-off in that first half in Buffalo.
Well, I will say this to you. You'll never own me, but you did a hell of a job this year.
Thank
you. Wait, I got a last quick question.
Go for it.
So how much better is Jay Cutler than Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Oh, really? So I would say this. I think Jay Cutler has he's a top 5 talent with his arm. He's super smart. That Vandy guy.
Thank you.
For some reason, it hasn't all come together.
For some reason.
I mean, he's had so many offensive coordinators, so many different wide receivers.
Correct.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think this second half of his career is going to be an amazing one because he's with this guy, Chan Gailey. He's comfortable. He really owns this offense, and that's what you want out of the quarterback position. Yeah, I can talk about.
Stop right there. Kaepernick. They're saying that he may want to come to New York. How you feel about that?
I don't want Kaepernick. I think he's good. I think he's good. My guy's Fitz. It's nothing against Kaepernick. It's nothing against Kaepernick.
And your guy used to be Geno when you first got there, right?
Of course, he's still my guy.
I know.
He's still my guy. But what I'm saying is, I have my quarterbacks and I'm good. But can I say this? All week, I'm going to be doing some of your stuff, some broadcasting, and follow me on Audience Sports Network.
We will.
Okay? Because I'm trying to jump into this business.
You're already in it.
I'm in it?
What do you mean you're jumping in? You're already in.
All right, well, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Audience Sports Network.
Shameless plug. Please, you're dropping the profound knowledge all morning, Brandon. We so appreciate you. Career highs this season, incredible, and all the work you're doing with mental health awareness. I meditate every day religiously. Helps keep me sane. You can't hear me. All right, thank you. Coming up next, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry on the same team. It may be too good to be true, but could KD play for Golden State next season? We'll discuss that next. First take on the road at Fort Mason. The best crowd. University of San Francisco cheerleaders in the house, dressing things up. So appreciate them. Back in a minute.
Everything you want to dream away under this